Where do we begin? First of all, we're going to scroll names in this entire segment. I'd like for the segment to be the entire show because it is epidemic portion of guys from 1974. Tommy John is the first one, and there's 1,400 professional pitchers since 1974. John Regali from Hardball Times, and they track this stuff on a site. And this is going to scroll because I want to show the magnitude of the epidemic portion. But you've been a big league pitching coach for 15 years. You've been in organizations for how long? Pitching
40.
Coach.
Pitching coach 30.
30. Your dad was an architect and a big front office guy with the Pirates.
79 World Series.
79 World Series. Since you were born, you were in a baseball uniform.
I've had a uniform on since
Your dad played in the last game at Ebbets Field.
And Polo Grounds.
Polo Grounds. Okay. You've been around it. Tommy John surgery, epidemic. There were more Tommy John surgeries in 2014 than the entire 90s as we continue to scroll these names. First, I want to say why, but I want to show some of the most recent guys, unlike the ones that are scrolling behind us, in guys that are brand names. And trust me when I tell you, folks, there's 1,400 on this name, and they're tracking it as of most recently in the last month of major league pitchers with all sorts of different deliveries. And yes, this is a fun screen for me, Rick, because we're going to be able to see different things. But guys from all different ages, different deliveries, left, right, Carter Caps. I mean, you go through the whole thing, Hochshaver, guys, and you see the Zach Wheeler, and I can't even keep up. And that was my point. To 1,400 names with some big leaguers, and all of these that we're showing right here, folks, had Tommy John surgery. There is a problem, to say the least. No question about it. And these were some of the names. And when I look at this, I think of some of the crazy statistics that not only at the major league level, but also at the amateur level.
Right.
And I know you know this because you were part of the ASMI, stuff that was going on. But look at this here, people here. 1,397, I said that, since 1974. You got 87% of games in 2007 that somebody in that game, at least one pitcher, had Tommy John. How about this? 2007 to 2011, 57% of these surgeries are from 15 to 19 years old.
Unbelievable.
According to the American Journal of Sports Medicine. All right, so now we're getting something. And I loved you as a pitching coach. It was a latter part of my career. Why? And here, I asked you, and I said, I know it's not that simple, but if you could give me 4 points, would you go over these 4 points and go item for item and maybe give the best you can?
Well, this is the one thing that we learned from Dr. Andrews' studies and Dr. Fleisig's studies at ASMI. The arm position at foot contact. It's a black or white, yes or no. When that foot hits the ground, you have to be somewhere right in here.
Okay, we'll get to that. What's this palm down, elbow high?
That means that at foot contact, if you're somewhere in this position, your palm is down, facing straight down. You know, that's one of those.
Then you had direction to home plate. I want to get some video. Direction is obvious. What?
Direction to home plate. That if you're way across yourself to home plate, because hip rotation velocities are linked to fastball velocity. How fast the hips rotate. So if you're way across yourself, you lock out those hips. So if you throw hard and rotate slow, that's a major factor.
And then the last one was
the front knee collapsing at ball release, because that also slows down how fast the hips rotate.
So how fast are the hips going? I know you had some.
Right. So think about it this way, Al. Think of the pitching delivery as an upside-down tornado. It starts to spin slower here, about 1 3/4 revolutions per second is how fast the hips would rotate if it went in a full circle. The upper torso goes twice as fast. So it starts spinning slow here, and it keeps going faster and faster and faster.
So therefore...
1 second. For in golf, they call that the X factor, the it factor.
Okay.
Because how does Ricky Fowler, who's about this high, hit a ball 320-some yards? He rotates fast. He spins fast.
Okay.
So many people say, like, with short pitchers, like Stroman, for example, or Pedro, how do they throw so hard?
Billy Wagner,
right. How
Kimbrel.
do they throw so hard? They're so small. Well, Indy 500 cars go faster than NASCARs. It's not the size of the car, it's how fast you're spinning.
And real quick, because I want to go to some video, and I know they're going to be in our ear. Revolutions per second, the fastest known, you told me that when
the fastest of any athletic performance, how fast the internal rotation goes forward. How fast your arm is going forward. It goes about, if it went in a full circle, it'd go about 27 revolutions in 1 second.
Okay, so that's really fast. In order to throw a ball 90, now we see 100 miles an hour.
And now it's probably going faster because you got guys throwing harder than they've ever had in the
Let's go to a video because I still want to talk to you about why. Why has this happened? But let's go to the poster child of this, right? Mark Pryor. Now, this is where we get to have fun here. What do you mean about foot contact and elbow?
There you go. His foot's getting down right now.
Yep.
And look where he is here.
So what does that mean? What does that mean?
What it means is this hand right here should be here.
That high.
He should be in this position.
All right, what's acceptable? Because we see all different deliveries, right?
Somewhere about in here.
So it is known, based on your research and your time. By the way,
Dr. Andrews.
But you were in Birmingham as a AA pitching coach with the White Sox.
Right.
And you were going over with Glenn Fleissig at ASMI, part of the lab. And you learned all this. Is that what they've come up with at foot contact?
At foot contact.
All right, play that.
They're basically saying...
Play that again. Keep it going. Let's see another one. All right, so that's a curveball. And he ended up being, the elbow, right? All right, stop. Let's do one more. Let's see.
Go back.
Here's a heater. This back up. Let's do that again. Back up, and let's see the landing. Just that foot contact, guys.
Go back.
Back up, back up, back up. Soon as the heel touch, go forward. There. All right, so it's similar. Fastball.
Yeah.
So because he's
really
here
late
and not here, we're seeing a percentage of those that get hurt.
It's putting all the pressure right here on the UCL.
Are you okay? All right, let's keep moving because there's a couple other guys that we want to see. Play this forward. Let's see what else we have.
But that's a major common thread.
That's a major. Okay,
major
Strasburg.
Common thread.
Strasburg. Now he's overcoming. He's stud. He's doing it. Stop again. Let's go back up. So he's a toe guy. Back up a little bit more. That's too entrenched in the dirt. Back up. Nope. As soon as it barely touches the ground, please go forward. And so he's more toe. Prior was stop. Okay.
Same position.
So is this the problem?
Right. Same position.
So is it because of the takeaway on your when it comes out of your glove?
It's a timing mechanism. Everybody has their own timing mechanism, and everybody does it an individual way.
What is I've said it. Inverted WM. What is
well,
this?
He's not there because the other common flaw is that if this elbow was way up here,
which Pryor did.
He's not there. Pryor did.
Mark Pryor. All right, keep going. Please move it forward. All right, so now he's more solid. Keep going.
All right.
Keep going. All right. Let's go to another one.
Go back for a second.
Okay, go back.
Go back.
See, this is fun, isn't it, Rick?
This is what happens when you're late. The intent of this pitch is down and away.
Okay.
Now he's late. This ends up to the other side of the plate over here.
I understand.
That's what happens when you're really
All right, go to the next guy. I want to see another guy. Yeah.
So if you're watching a game and you don't have slow motion
All right, here, stop
footage,
right here. Okay, is this the end? So his elbow goes higher than his shoulder.
Yep.
That's what you're talking about. He's at foot contact, his heel, so he's similar to Pryor, not Strasburg. And his elbow is higher than his shoulder?
Right, and his palm is way below the shoulder line.
Move one more click, please. One more click. Yes. Back. I mean, see, I just want to show how minute. One more back. Nah. I mean, it is so, like what you were saying, it's like, it's
because it's happening so fast.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
so fast.
So is that why elbow surgery? I mean, he's
that's one of the biggest reasons.
That's one of the biggest red flags. He's having a good year. He's pitching well.
Well, again, it's not.
Keep going. Play it again.
Just because you're really good doesn't mean you're not at risk of injury.
How many guys are pitching? And he had the hammer. I mean, the big curveball.
Big time.
But let me see another one. What's another guy before we can go here? We got another one. Who's across? There was Oh, okay, Weaver. You mentioned about direction. This is like he's the poster child for across his body, right?
Yeah.
Stop. Look at that.
Yeah. So if the camera's coming from here, but if it was center field camera and you drew a line through here,
yeah,
it's probably going right about.
But he
here.
played. He's got 50. This is the whole thing. When I talk to my kid and kids, they're like, "Oh, well, he played 15 years in the big leagues, and he's driving a Mercedes and a Maserati. He's got a big boat."
He did, but look, when he signed, what was he like mid-90s?
Yeah.
And then as time goes by, because what happens is hip rotation velocities are linked to fastball velocity. Once you get locked out here. Those hip rotations.
I know they're going to be honest,
slow.
but here, if you had, what are the three? Look at this. We're still running these names, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
But what are some of the things at home? I have a son in high school. I'm around youth baseball. Like, what can we pick off? Rest? Is it velocity? Like, what's going on?
I think it's a combination of rest. Overuse is a big factor. Pitching 12 months out of the year.
Okay.
Dr. Andrews would say a minimum of 3 to 4 months rest.
Okay.
And then you have to be conditioned in order to be able to do this. Jared was in unbelievable physical condition. That's why he was able to withstand this for a long period of time. But what happens is as time goes by, the velocity starts to drop.
All right, we got to go. We got to touch on like 9 other things.